So I actually started witnessing human trafficking or human sex trafficking when I was 16, 17 years old.
I actually had gone to a few different seminars and trainings on human trafficking.
We have a human trafficking problem and how to reach out and get help, and that's important.
Invisible Innocence was created to serve the needs of survivors of human trafficking while strengthening communities through our programs. How we have our organization actually structured out is in a 3-tier phase. Phase 1 really focusing on cultural inclusion, best practices, and awareness. Phase 2 really finding our alliances and becoming a liaison, so partnerships, collaboration, and outreach. And then our third phase is really on that transitional living and being able to provide that temporarily or permanently for survivors who are at the point of self-sufficiency. Currently, where we're at is really in phase 1 and the beginning stages of phase 2. And with phase 1, that's where Let's Talk About It really came into play.
I think that because Brandi and I knew each other so well personally and we had a friendship, and she knew a little bit of what we were doing at the studio and that we had so many different options available to be able to help with any sort of marketing needs.
She kind of had introduced to us what she was doing with the Invisible Innocence organization, and one thing kind of led to the other, and we started helping out with what they needed and helped to grow that awareness and community engagement.
Of human trafficking. Tonight isn't about whether or not you know what human trafficking is. It's really about presenting your perspective and learning a little more on how to facilitate the conversation amongst your peers, at the dining table with your family, and in the workplace. We really recognize that if we wanted to serve survivors of human trafficking, we also have to serve the communities. Because if you're not serving communities and expecting them to be embracive of someone with an extreme background, such as a survivor of human trafficking, we're really recreating a barrier that they're coming into place. Trying to figure out how we were going to do the awareness differently from other organizations. Something that I recognized with other organizations is a lot of focus is on shock value and fear and let's make something better, but we're going to really put that fear front and as the focus. And I don't feel like that emotion is what we should be drawing out of the community. We should be encouraging people, we should be empowering them, and we should actually allow them to have passion, because with passion you have purpose.
Well, today I was thrilled. She texted me and asked if we'd place in our restrooms here in the Capitol Gallery just stickers that briefly tell the story that we have a human trafficking problem and how to reach out and get help. And that's important. What she's doing is so vital that, yes, we live in a world of North Dakota nice, but there is an underside. And it's not the movie Pretty Woman.
The Change Network has really helped me understand my own advantages to the disadvantages. So when you're immersed in it and you're kind of floating around well, I get that I don't relate to this, or I understand that there is segregation and discrimination and things like that. With the Change Network, they've really helped me understand where to place some of this information that I've learned in the past, as well as I'm currently learning, and how to apply it in a meaningful and effective manner. Throughout this entire project, my mentors have really challenged me by asking things even deeper. And now that I'm transitioning into, or taking on another full-time role of running for Senate, they really have stepped up and saying, okay, well, if you're gonna represent your neighbors in the community, how are you going to do that differently while also being flexible enough to shape as you need to as society shifts? and it's been fantastic and really, really exciting to be really pushed outside of my element, and then also just really being able to understand and being allowed the space to understand who I am as an individual and how I want to represent myself, and understanding how important it is to embrace that side of my story has been really empowering. It's been really, really empowering because it helps me recognize that there are others out there, such as myself, that have the ability to share a story that's going to impact their own communities and their own lives. And I really want to continue moving towards that and being kind of that role model that is necessary and I think missing in a lot of ways.